If you are a creative builder, a redstone engineer, a farm designer, basically if you play Minecraft beyond walking around the world, this is the tool that you can't live without. And it just got a massive update a few weeks ago. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use World Builder, how I use World Builder, and how World Builder can take you to new heights in your creative process. World Builder is available in the Minecraft Marketplace for download, so every Bedrock Edition device can use it. You can load it locally onto your world through the Behavior Packs menu, and then you can keep it local, or you can upload it to a realm. After installing World Builder, the first time you load into the world, you will receive a handbook, and you should also have a settings option. If you don't see either of those, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom of the list in your Minecraft inventory and grab the handbook for yourself or the settings option for yourself. When you open the handbook, you are given multiple options, including the introduction, toolboxes, the how-to guide, changelogs, and support. Starting with this how-to guide, it is incredibly expansive and goes through pretty much everything there is to offer in World Builder. So if you don't know how to use this and you want to read up on it, this is where you're going to start. Changelogs will tell you everything that you need to know about every single update that World Builder has had, and today I'm going to be telling you about some really cool things that came out with 1.6, and when I say it solves a potential inventory problem, it's pretty incredible. If you open up the settings menu, you have some other general settings that you can go through yourself. I'm going to leave everything set to default for now. If you use nothing else but the toolboxes in World Builder, you've already done yourself a massive favor. That's how highly I think of this feature. If you click into the toolboxes, you're going to be met with the new toolbox button or the back button. I've already got a couple of toolboxes built here, and we'll get to those in just a second. When you click on the new toolbox, normally you'd have the full range of colors. I only have these because I've already pre-built some, but let's just go ahead and select the purple toolbox, which brings me to another menu with the back button, starter layouts, a new layout, or the redstone layout, which you won't see. This is a custom one that I built using that new layout button. For now, we're gonna go into the starter layouts and check out what the options are here. There's basic, terrain shaping, a whole bunch of different options. I would recommend starting with empty unless you plan on using some of these features straight out of the gate. From here, I can name it to whatever I want it to be. So if I want the purple toolbox to be, for example, wood supplies, I can name it wood, save the changes, and that's my toolbox. When you open it, there's nothing in it. However, if you open up the inventory menu, you can add in all the different types of wood or any resource that you want to use for your custom toolbox. And I'm actually going to go ahead and throw these on the hotbar and leave the one leftover stack inside the inventory. And if I go ahead and use this toolbox again, it's going to close the toolbox and all of that stuff disappears, including the one stack of wood in my inventory, but it hasn't deleted it. It's still sitting inside of this toolbox so that when I use it again to open it, there's all of my options. So if I know that I'm going to be building something creative like a house, you've got all of the options already available, and you can fill up every single inventory space with a different item, all housed within this toolbox. This has been a feature for a long time in World Builder, but it's got even better with the 1.6 update. One feature that you'll want to get used to is moving your cursor over an item and crouching and then using that item to bring up a secondary menu where we have a few different options. And the one I want to focus on right here is the add tray option. If I add a tray, you can see now I've got all of the different colors of trays available, and I'm going to create this tray right here and go through the same process. I'm going to use the empty layout that they've given us, and I'm going to name it planks. If I open up my inventory, you can see that planks tray is right there in the inventory, but I want to put that in my hotbar. Then I'm going to throw all of this on the ground and right-click or use the tray to open it up, and then I'm going to pick all of this stuff back up again, and now all of my planks live inside the planks drawer or tray. So if I open and close this, you can see I'm still within that purple wood toolbox with a planks tray, and I can easily access all of these materials. And then let's say I want to go in and make a completely separate tray, and we'll call this one slabs. If I open up the slabs tray, there's nothing in there, but I can go into my menu and start adding all of the wood variants of slabs and easily switch back and forth between the two options without ever having to touch the search bar, ever having to browse through the menu to try to find what I'm looking for. If you have preset block palettes that you know you're going to use all the time, this is an absolutely amazing feature that solves inventory issues and makes your life building so much easier. Like I said, if you use nothing else besides the trays and toolbox function, you're already doing yourself a favor. Let me give you a couple of examples of some preset toolboxes that I've built. Inside the redstone toolbox, I've got power options. So inside of the power tray, I have redstone blocks, redstone dust, basically anything that's going to give power to a redstone contraption or a farm or a circuit. All of the power options are here. I don't have anything but additional pressure plates inside of the inventory because the purpose of this tray is to make it a quick, easy swap of the hotbar so I don't have to go in and out of the inventory every time I'm trying to build something in this creative test world. Then, if I want to switch over to functionality, I have all of my function blocks. I've got observers, repeaters, comparators, hoppers, basically everything I need for the function of a redstone contraption. And in this inventory menu, I've got some replacement blocks as well. So this trident right here is part of like the trident killer column. In a typical trident killer, you have pistons and tridents. It basically gives me an easy option to build anything I want, anytime I want. And then anything else that's miscellaneous as far as redstone contraptions go, I've done my best to sort them out into categories. And I have everything I could possibly need for redstone contraptions inside of this redstone box. The only thing that I don't have that I use all the time is wool. Maybe I'll add a tray for wool at some point, but for now I have this next toolbox, which is my colorful blocks toolbox, and each tray has a different category of colorful blocks in it. So this first one has every color of wool. This next one has every color of glass, including panes. I've got every color of concrete, including powdered, and every color of terracotta, including the glazed option. As you can see, toolboxes are incredibly powerful, especially now that they've added trays. It's definitely a game changer, and I hope Mojang is taking notes because the inventory discussion has been a discussion for a very long time. Now, I don't know if this would be the best solution for a survival scenario. I would have to try it out. Just seeing a potential option for inventory management put into an add-on is absolutely incredible and refreshing to see. So before I move on to this third toolbox, which is called the multi-toolbox, I want to show you how to create a toolbox and save a custom layout. If you go back into the toolboxes section, create a new toolbox, we're going to select purple again. This is where things get a little bit confusing, and I want to make them very clear for you. And hopefully this might be a little bit of feedback for Orville as well, if they happen to be watching this video. The logic would say that you would go to this new layout button, right? If I want to create a new layout from scratch. Well, if I click on this new layout button, it doesn't actually create the new layout right then and there, but it takes you to a menu of already existing toolboxes or trays. If you want to save this redstone toolbox as a layout to load up into a different color of a toolbox, you would just click on the redstone toolbox, name this redstone layout or something similar, save those changes, and now I have that redstone layout saved in my layouts menu. So if I go back to this purple toolbox, load the redstone layout, choose the use layout option, and then I'll name the purple toolbox redstone 2, and now I have two identical toolboxes with the exact same layout. And I didn't have to do anything other than load up something that I had previously created. One thing I want to make clear as well is that this redstone layout that we have saved here is permanent. It will always load the same thing regardless of the toolbox. These options in here are flexible. So if I take something out of my redstone toolbox, let's say I go in here and I remove this tray entirely. Let's just take it completely out of the toolbox. If I load this layout back up, it's going to reapply that tray because it's saved in the custom layout, but it's no longer saved in this redstone toolbox. I hope that makes sense. The menu options are a little bit confusing, but once you get used to the naming schemes of everything, it's pretty logical where everything is laid out. The only thing that I would suggest maybe changing is taking these starter layouts and maybe moving empty outside of there, because it's not technically a layout. You're just giving somebody an empty toolbox. Maybe Orville Studios could put the empty option somewhere on the layouts menu so that you have a clear, easy way to create a brand new toolbox with nothing in it. Hopefully that's some good feedback. and hopefully that provides everybody else a little bit of clarity as to how all of these menu options work. All of that so far is just scratching the surface of what World Builder can do, so let's move beyond the toolboxes and look at some of the tools that give you unlimited creative control. If you are in a creative world and open up the inventory, you can scroll all the way down the magnifying glass page to the bottom of the standard Minecraft items, and you will find all of the World Builder items that are added to the game. You've got everything from selection tools to cut, copy and paste, changing the orientation of the clipboard, and so much more that we're not going to get into in full depth today, especially this tool and brush manager. We'll cover it, but that might be a full separate video, and you'll see why here in a minute. I have created a custom multi-toolbox that includes some of the standard stuff that I use all the time from World Builder. So if I open it up, I have two different trays, and each of these trays only have tools in the hotbar so I can quickly access what I need. The first tray is Quick Select and Move, and I'm going to start with the Far Selection wand. In order to use this wand, all you have to do is point your cursor toward a space in the world that you want to select, like this chest right here, and use the item, and you'll see a selection box go immediately around where you clicked. Then from here, you can move or point, and it will expand that selection box to a pretty significant distance. I have not tested the full boundaries of how far this can go, but in the most recent update, they've expanded how far the tools can select. It's pretty massive. When you finally have an area that you want selected, you use the tool again to lock that selection in, and I can move around again without affecting the boundaries of that selection. But let's say I'm trying to do something with this build right here. This is my storage silo for the most recent video, and not all of it fit inside of that selection box. So I can go to the edge of the selection box and face this direction right here, which is going to interact with this invisible surface. If I use the tool again, I can expand this side of the selection box to encompass this side of the build, and I've got it a little bit too far this direction, so I can move it back in by one and select again to lock it in. Same thing on this side. I'll face this direction, pull the selection out, and then go back to the back, face this direction, pull the selection out, and now the entire build should be within this bounding box. From here, I can do a number of things. I can copy this and then drag it across the map into an open space over here, and I can use my clipboard to paste the exact same build in the world. It didn't affect this one over here. It's still there exactly how it was. It just took all of the blocks, all of the redstone, all of the items, everything that's in here, and pasted it into this space. This is absolutely insane. So a great application for this is redstone or farm designing. Let's say you've got something that you think works pretty good, but you might want to try to make some changes to it to optimize or make it a little bit quicker. I can copy this selection and paste an exact copy of it right here, and then close my toolbox and make any changes to this design that I want to without affecting the original build. If I don't like where I've placed something, I can always use the undo button and it will remove everything that I just did, and this will save a pretty significant amount of undos. So even this selection right here, I can undo that and it reselects the original build back here, and if I want to, for any reason, I can use the cut tool and it will make all of that disappear and copy it to the clipboard, and I can paste that build right here. This is how I organized this entire world, because before, it was just absolutely insane how disorganized this space was. And now everything is placed into categories and separated by colored lines, so I know exactly where I'm going in my world, which helps me in my creative flow immensely. And I don't really want this build right here, so again, I'm going to undo that, and then I'm going to undo the cut, and my original build is back in place. Let's say that I want to move this over just a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit too close to this build right here, and I'm going to be able to take a look at a 360 view. All I got to do is get my selection move tool, face the direction I want the build to go, use the tool, and select the number of blocks that I want to go, and perform the move, and it will move the entire thing forward in the direction that I'm facing. Another great example of something you can do with World Builder, let's say I'm going to stack all of these in a layout that I want to mimic how it's going to be in an actual survival world. I can crouch on this move tool right here, and choose the selection stack tool. And with this selection stack tool, I can face the direction I want to stack it. And let's make 3 copies so that I've got 4 storage silos right next to each other. I can confirm that none of the redstone is interacting. All of this is stackable, which is exactly how I designed it to be. Then I can take my far selection wand and pull it back over this direction and grab all 4 of these, copy all 4 silos to the clipboard, and then I can rotate the clipboard twice to invert the direction of this build and figure out a good place to paste this. Right here seems good. It's not exactly aligned, so I can go back into my selection tools and choose selection move, and I can move this down by 1 block. And now they're at least on the same vertical plane. I don't know if they're exactly lined up horizontally, but you get the idea. The selection tools, the copy tools, the paste tools, the move tools, it's all so incredibly powerful and makes building mass scale things so much easier. And honestly, it makes small scale things so much easier because you can use this to copy the same build over and over and over to test out different designs, as we've already discussed. Absolutely incredible tools. I use this every day in my workflow. When I'm designing something new, I'm designing it with World Builder. Let's say that I don't really want this here. I want to get rid of it, but I really don't want to use the cut tool because it's then going to save this information in the clipboard. I just want it all to be gone. If I go into my advanced tools, I've got a whole nother list of options here, including this selection fill. And again, this tool, if you crouch and use it, has all of those options we were looking at earlier: selection move, selection stack. I would encourage you to go through this entire list of tools on your own and just try them out and see what they do. But for the sake of example here, if I take this block picker and I select air, I can then use the selection fill tool to fill that entire space with air, which deletes the entire build, except for this right here, because it was outside of the box. I guess I didn't pull it over far enough. That's fine. If I undo all of that, maybe we actually bring the selection box out far enough to get rid of everything. This block picker won't just do air either. I can go over here and select wool. And if I do a selection fill in this space, it's going to fill the entire area with blue wool. And it's not just the border either. It's literally every single block in that space gets filled. There are tools as well that allow you to leave the entire inside space empty and just fill the border. You literally can do everything with World Builder. It's absolutely nuts. Let's say, for example, I don't really like the copper bulbs and I want to replace them with a different light source. Well, really the only other light source you can use for a storage silo is something like redstone lamps. I'm going to mess up my toolbox here just for a second so I can place a redstone lamp on the ground. And then I'm going to use this selection replace tool, and I'm going to pick this block right here to be the block that is going to be inserted in place of the copper bulbs. So the mask picker is going to be the block that is going to be deleted and replaced with that block. So once I've selected both of those, I can choose the check mark, and now every single one of those copper bulbs is gone and replaced with a redstone lamp, and it has not touched anything else in this design. That doesn't even have to apply just to a redstone build. It can apply to something creative as well, like this lumber mill that I built early on in the current season of the Bedrock Guide. I can go over here and make a selection to encompass the entire build. I want to see what this would look like with warped planks instead of spruce. Again, I can use my selection replace tool, choose that block, choose the block that I want to replace, apply the changes, and now I have a completely different build that doesn't look half bad. That's actually kind of cool. If you are a creative builder, this is a great way to test out different block palettes within your designs. I've got 2 different planks right here, an oak plank and a birch plank, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did just a minute ago with the warped planks, except for this time I'm going to crouch on the block picker and enable addition mode so that now I can select this block and then go over here and select this block. And when I confirm this, you're going to see something a little bit different this time. It is at random going to calculate a pattern to insert both blocks that we selected with the block picker. And it doesn't even have to stop there. There are some pretty incredible terrain tools built into this that they've given you to get you started with brushes and custom tools. I'm going to select this terrain layout on a new toolbox, and inside of this terrain layout, we've got a couple of things. If I take this navigation wand and point it across the map, it's going to teleport me way over to where I was pointing. So now I'm over here near my double creeper farm. Or if I want to go over to the pirate ship, hey, we're here. Or if I want to go back over to my current Bedrock Guide series, hey, look at that, we're here. Oh my goodness, the navigation wand is absolutely incredible. Helps you get around the world quickly, especially if you've got a lot of builds to look at. So give this tool a try. It's pretty fun. In the first tray of the terrain layout, we've got a few different brushes. We've got a rock brush that's in the shape of a sphere. If I use this brush and paint it around the map, we've got a variety of rocks, and now I'm stuck inside. If you want a crazy cool looking arch, just use the paintbrush, and there you go. You've got a pretty cool looking arch already built in with texture variety. Or if you want to lift up some land around the arch, you can use the lifter brush, and it will take into account the blocks that are touching the brush, so it will keep all of the same texture variation. You can use the eroder brush to do the exact opposite. It will take blocks away. Or you can use the smoothing brush to smooth out those rough edges on your builds. Or let's say you want to go crazy and erode part of the world just like this, and then use the river brush to put some water that falls through. Oh, it actually doesn't fall through. I didn't know that. We've got a floating river. Amazing. I'm going to undo all of that because I don't want to ruin my world, but you get the idea. If you are a map maker and want incredibly simple tools to use to build terrain around your stuff, this is it. Paintbrushes. And I think that's going to be it for the brushes part of this video, and actually probably it for the video period. That covers about everything that I wanted to show you and everything that I use when I'm using World Builder, how I use it, and hopefully that gave you some ideas on how you can use World Builder to increase your creative workflow and just give you more flexibility in being creative in general. If you want to see a tutorial on the brushes and custom tools, let me know in the comments. And if I get enough interest, we'll go ahead and start working on a video. Go check out World Builder on the Minecraft Marketplace. If there is one tool that you need in your creative process, this is it. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.